Scott, last year's model of the shoe absolutely sucked. I hated it so much. I literally threw it in the dumpster.
Fatality.
Launch 2 is my favorite. Launch 5 is pretty good. 7, I was like, why? But I brought you in because you are a Brooks launch expert. You've ran in how many launches?
All since the first one.
So I'm hoping that maybe you can like give some insight on your thoughts on this shoe. Because I have thoughts, as well as you. This is our review on the Brooks Launch 8. Alright, so the Brooks Launch is Brooks' lightweight neutral trainer. It sits right under the Ghost and way below the Glycerin as far as that cushioning level. So more responsive, but still a daily trainer. It is simple, it is easy, it is a go-to shoe for so many people, including myself. Up until last year, I threw it away, like I said. But I'm hoping maybe this year is better. What were your initial thoughts on the overall shoe?
Initial thoughts, immediately feels way lighter than all the other launches I've ever worn. And then when I put it on, it's springy, it's bouncy. Like, yeah, it felt really responsive, like way more than the other one. Even during the 6, like I would run it, it's really hard. But this one felt really, really springy.
Well, let's just get to the chase. This shoe looks way better than it ever did.
It is nice looking.
Like, last year's shoe was just like, okay, it felt rough. The upper on this is like the best upper they've done in any launch so far. It's almost like a blend between like a knit and a mesh, very lightweight, very breathable. Like it fits nice. It's not invasive. It's not too hard where your foot can like. It kind of molds to your foot a little bit, and I'm liking that. Mm-hmm. And it's just enough cushioning. You know, it is a lightweight trainer, but you still get the padding in the tongue, the heel. Not too much, just a little bit. You know, just feel like if you want to go for a run, you're not like this hurts, but it's not so stuffy. We're like, all right, this is just too much going on.
Yeah,
it's a good middle. How about the fit? Did it fit okay? Snug?
Kind of right in the middle, like you were saying. Like I don't feel anything when I put my shoe on. It just feels comfortable. Like yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, I mean, I always say Brooks has the best fit across the board. I feel like it's a safe bet. And this year's shoe is just like the shoes from this year so far. Like the Glycerins fit well, the Brooks Ghost fit well, and this one's right there with it. I would say maybe a little more snug, but not in like a tight way, just more like in a speedier, athletic way. So for the fit, I'm all for it. Any issues with the hot spots, anything like that?
No, not so far. I haven't felt anything on the toes right here, especially right here. They kind of mess with the shape over here a little bit. Yeah, I haven't felt anything right here on the Achilles tendon or anything like that.
Let's be real. I think every brand's doing this dumb thing.
Okay.
They're more low key about it. They're not as aggressive. Like some shoes are just like, whoo.
Gotcha.
But some are just like a little bit of a flare. But you know, as you can see, mine's is a little bit different from yours. So you have the Brooks Launch 8.
What do you have?
The Brooks Launch 8 GTS. So, do you remember the shoe called the Brooks Ravenna?
I do.
It was like a lightweight stability option. It's gone. They got rid of it. So to replace it, they made a stability version of a Launch.
Okay.
With guide rails. So what I have is just the guide rail version. So you can see right across here, we got a little more stability in the lateral side, whereas yours doesn't have that. So yours is considered the neutral version, mine is the stability version.
Okay.
But let's be real, they fit almost the exact same. But yeah, this one's a little more supportive. I definitely felt it in like the heel area. Like, it wasn't like invasive, like, oh, I feel something there, but it's like, I feel like a little snugness around my heel. So, you know, if you need the stability for those who want extra support, GTS, the go-to shoe. For everyone else, most people, the regular Launch is more than efficient. And then the cushioning, I feel like they didn't really like promote the cushioning level being any different than last year's, but I feel like it was lighter, fluffier, bouncier. Not by a lot, but definitely different from what it used to be. So, any thoughts on that? Like the ride of the shoe?
It was really smooth. Like I said, it was just had that spring to it. Like that's what I noticed immediately.
Yeah, I just feel like for me, it was just, last year's Launch felt stiff. Like it just wouldn't like, almost felt like a clunky stiffness. This one kind of, it's not super flexible, but just enough where it's like you get a nice transition, a nice toe off. It felt easy to run in. Nothing fantastic. It's not the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Let's not go there. But for $100, and I think, 110 for the GTS version, I'm not sure. But I'll put links down below for the prices and all that. This is definitely like worth the value. And that's the key here, the value. I feel like you get a good shoe, good aesthetics, good functionality for the value of it. And that is like my way of saying, this is a pretty damn good shoe. It's a little more on the responsive end, not so much squish. If you want more squish, I think the Brooks Loft DNA would be more of the squishier foam from the glycerins and the Brooks Ghost. But yeah, this is a little more on the responsive side. So speed workouts, tempo days, it can go long runs, let's be real. Like if you're someone who used to if you're a faster person, this could be a long run shoe if you want it to be. But anything longer than that, then you might be like, all right, I want more cushioning for the pushing when it comes to the pace. Underneath, you got some rubber all throughout. Not very interesting, but it is full coverage from the heel to the midfoot to the forefoot. Durability will be decent. It is a lightweight neutral shoe, so these shoes typically don't last that long. You're gonna get some traction better than like shoes, say like the Rincon, where it's just exposed rubber. So that shoe is softer, but this one might last longer. So it's give and take. I think it is a good shoe for the value. I think it fits much better than last year's. I am loving the look. I'm loving the fit. I'm loving the upper. I hope they don't change the upper at all. Just keep this upper for next year and just maybe just play with other things, like, the cushioning level or something, but for me, it's a pretty good shoe for the value. You hate it?
I don't hate it. I love it.
Would you say this is, so on your Brooks launch scale, will this be in the middle, the top, bottom, where would you put it?
So far, this is going to be at the top after my few runs.
I feel like the Launch 2 is still my favorite, but more of nostalgia though.
Yeah.
I think if you give me that shoe right now, compared to this, I'd be like, oh, it's not that good. But just in that moment of liking it, I feel like the Brooks Launch 2 is my shoe, and this one's right there. This is my second favorite Brooks Launch of all time, in theory.
It's high praise.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. It is Jamison approved. There's a stamp right here that pops up.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the awkward pause. All right, guys, if you guys want to follow the channel, please links down below. We got the Instagrams, we got the YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You should, if you're new here. We are vegan. Are we vegan?
Yes.
We're not really vegan.
No, we're not vegan.
But if you're vegan, you can still follow us too. We love everybody. Yeah, and let us know down below, how do you feel about the Ravenna being gone? I know they're getting rid of the Transcend, which is a glycerin with guide rails. Got rid of the Ravenna and got rid of the Launch with guide rails. I think it's a smart idea. I feel like these shoes have better name recognition than Ravenna and Transcend. So I don't know. Sometimes it's a marketing thing, but good shoes nonetheless. GTS, regular Launch, go-to shoe. Links down below. Hone it down. And with that said, be sure to stay in school, do not do drugs, and if you can, keep it tight.